In today's 2 episodes, we learn a lot about failure. Whether it be the failure to defeat a major villain, the failure to protect everyone you hold dear, or the failure that was Jones Turner. And now we come to what seems to be the most hated episode of Unleashed. And judging by the comments, there's quite a number of people who feel that way. Jones Turner is a very controversial figure, to say the least.
Well, Hugo, how is he? He's alright. He'll just need a bit of rest.
He's just feeling a bit of pressure.
Oh boy! Well, that's good news!
Oy.
Yeah, but it's pretty much the only good news we have, considering we didn't get that card. Oh, come on, Hugo. Take your own advice.
At least Oliver got the help he needed.
He's right. You said it yourself. You did all you could. Thanks, David, but Draco doesn't seem to think so.
Whatever
What
he thinks.
exactly is with him, anyhow? I mean,
He
I
gets to
didn't
stick up
interact
his
with him
butt
that
every once in a
much during the
while.
Lancer tournament, but he seemed alright. I don't know. He just gained this attitude ever since we dueled against Minus. Oh, is that when this started?
Yes.
Interesting.
He feels he can't cut it. And now he feels
Where
like he's
exactly is he
regressing,
now?
yes.
He said he wanted to be alone for a bit. He's outside the border. Well then, I guess I better go and keep him company. I got a few questions to ask.
Like, why do you
Sure,
exist?
but I'd stand at least 10 feet away from him if I were you. Don't worry, Mr. Tuck. I will.
Oi.
Speaking
Who
of which,
walks
I think
like
we have
that?
just as many questions to ask about you guys. Oh, really? Very well then. Where would you like to start? I guess with you, David. What exactly happened to you after the Lancer tournament? That was the last I heard of you. Ah, yes. Well, that was quite an eventful tale. It all began when I was being expelled from Phoenix University. You see, the manager...
Yeah, if you saw Behind the Duels, you know this story. So, for the best, they cut there and go to intro. We know the story, we didn't see it, go watch Behind the Duels. There you go. I did like that little bit of David talk with the Clockwork Dragon, just like, ugh. Kind of the standard look for a lot of people, but yeah, now Oliver's gotten the help he needed. Unfortunately, Silence is gone in the other key card, so now the Lancers have 2, and the Organization of the Forgotten have 2, so we're evened up. And now we're under the pressure. And Draco's being off by his lonesome. I imagine if there was allowance in the budget, this would be a rainstorm. Because, you know, whenever an edgy character is feeling miserable, stand out in the rainstorm. Those are the rules.
Hello, Draco.
Where the heck?
It wasn't funny the first time you did it, and it is especially not funny now. Ah, come on. Don't be a little grouch. Tell Daddy what's the matter.
Ugh.
If you've come out here just to goof off with your stupid impression, then you can shove off. Oh, come on! I'm not cruel enough to patronize you! I just want to know what's the matter with you! Why have you been such a grouch? None of your business. Oh, come on! Why do you have to keep such details from Jones Turner? Don't keep me in the dark! I must know!
I must know
you don't have to
everything!
keep stuff from me! You're the one to talk about hiding. I mean, you're the one who's been
Wearing a
fooling
mask.
With this stupid impression that you're trying to pull. At least
Not wrong.
I haven't been acting like a jerk recently. So come
Oh,
on,
some would
tell me
disagree.
what's wrong with you? Perhaps explain to me why you've been acting like a complete lunatic this whole time, as a completely normal human being, and I might consider it.
It gets their guard down. Makes them think a certain way only for you to act the complete opposites. Unfortunately, that sort of theory doesn't really work when Jones is 24/7 in lunatic mode.
Sorry about the stupid act. I'll drop it for a while. Alright, fine. If you want to know my secret first, then I might as well tell you now. I mean, I've already delayed the answer for long enough. Yeah, I think you have. So come on, out with it.
Get talking.
Who are you?
I'm Jones Turner.
I'm a secret agent working for Declan Akaba. There, satisfied?
Yes, actually.
Well, technically you're gonna need a bigger explanation than that.
Yeah, that would be better.
If you're a secret agent, then why were you at Phoenix University? Well, duh. Undercover, of course.
Did you figure that much out?
Originally sent me to the academy as a student in order to uncover the mystery of duelists going missing. That, of course, turned out to be Viper. However, we didn't know that at the time. It wasn't until the Lancer tournament and you guys told us about him when we did know. The reason I sneaked into it was to make sure no other higher-ranking duelists went missing. Not to mention to try and track down the attacker there. And technically we did.
Makes enough
You guys
sense.
did nothing to try and reprimand him. And you let him escape when he was running back to Mephiles.
Correct.
So the organization could make their move. Oh, don't misread us, Draco. We actually did try to do something.
We just
had to
didn't
keep
do
it
anything in the
dark
end.
Due to publicity. Do you remember what that commander told you?
Though still,
How in the dark have we
have
been
sent
lately?
someone to keep an eye on Viper, so should he do anything, we will know.
And in case you're wondering, yes, that was me. And you didn't bother to try and stop him either?
Nope.
Oh no, I did, but that's another story. After all that, I was assigned to you guys.
I don't think
to
we ever
learn some
got that
information
story,
about
Jones
Havoc,
versus Viper.
And tagged along with you guys to get more info on the location of the
Am I
key card.
forgetting something?
So yeah, no matter where I end up, I've been gathering information for Declan Akuba and reporting it back to him. Right, so your father bribing people was a complete lie. He had nothing to do with it. Although, it is a pretty good story to convince people that you're even more of a loser, don't you think?
Yeah, it works.
Okay, but why pretend to be a loser?
Unfortunately, there's a lot of people now
if
who
you
just
were
are
confident the
losers,
whole
so,
time,
you know.
Why not just be competent? Well, Draco, let me ask you this. If you were a big bad villain and you saw me acting that way, would you honestly waste your time trying to eradicate me? Or let alone think I was a threat to you?
No.
No, not really.
So that's why you let him slide.
Exactly, and that's the genius of it. Nobody realizes they're being fooled because they're too busy hating the fool. It's brilliant. Admit it.
Unfortunately,
all
some
of
people
you
hated
were
the fool
fooled
that he
too.
gets killed
You
off this
thought I was a
season.
nobody, a waste
Spoiler?
of space that didn't need to be here. Well, guess what? Every time you were hating me, I was gaining information for the good guys.
So you see, I wanted you to hate me. It's GG, you
Who are
see.
you talking to?
Fourth wall.
I see. Now I've bragged on about my secrets, so
Oh my
why
god, I've
not?
been so wrong about Jones Turner. Nah, people would just be like, now I hate him even more.
You know, all the problems you've been
I don't have a
having
problem
which
with
you
Jones,
don't
but
wanna talk
that's my
about.
opinion.
Nothing. I have no problems. Really? Because you've been acting kinda like a douche.
You're a
when we were trying
freaking
to get
walking,
that
talking
card.
problem.
Not to mention, Hugo told me about your attitude after losing to my... Why are you looking at me like that?
It's my face. I look like that
Figured it
normally.
out. What have you figured out? You are afraid of losing.
I'm not Zark.
No, I'm not. Sure you are. Why else have you been acting so brash this whole time? I mean, losing to Minus was probably the first time you've lost in, well, forever.
Not
Most
really,
likely,
actually.
You just don't want everyone else to think that you're inferior just because you lost a
But had
single
been
time.
quite a number of times
I mean, I
since
was
Draco
the one who was
lost.
role-playing as a loser, but you're the one who was afraid of ending up like one, especially considering all the trouble I've heard you've been in the past. That's nonsense. Is it? Well, why else did you disobey orders and enter the battle against the organization and the Barrian clan when you clearly weren't supposed to? I mean, it's a miracle you didn't get into trouble for that.
True.
Well, for your information, I did get in trouble for that, and
Ah,
I paid the price.
That's right, because he had to
You
stay
clearly
behind,
didn't
but
learn sense from
didn't
it,
matter.
Did you? And why?
Because we wanted it anyway.
Because you're afraid of losing. You just wanted to get Minus back for beating you.
He doesn't
Because
hate
you
losing, he
lost
just doesn't
to him.
like it.
Because you wanted to prove to everybody that you weren't a loser. Will you shut
Could
up?
start with a freaking SpongeBob.
First
Loser,
time you lost to
loser,
I
loser.
can tell you had a bit of
We need
a
a general.
after that. I mean, why else would you leave Phoenix University, perhaps? Okay, first off, how did you know about that? And second off, I didn't leave. It was summer break. Okay.
I look up
first of all,
information.
hello, reconnaissance agent.
Were you not listening to that
Second of
part?
all, you may have a point, but even so, I saw how distant you became after that duel. You clearly didn't want anyone else to know that you lost to a lower-ranked student then. So it's clear that you don't want anyone else to think that you're a loser now. Oh, will you just shut up? Okay? Shut up, Jones. Even if I was afraid, which I'm not, at least I've been trying. At least I've been trying to prove my worth this whole time. What you've done is just act like a complete lunatic the whole way. At
Not
least
wrong.
I've been trying to prove that I'm useful. You've done hardly nothing.
From
to
what
prove
it's-
yourself as a duelist.
Well, as a duelist, no, but apparently he's being a lot of reconnaissance, so technically that would mean that Jones has been accomplishing more than you. Yes, you've won more duels, but he's got more information, and information wins at the end of the day.
All right then. How about this? I challenge you to a duel. You know what? Fine. I accept your challenge. I've been meaning to see your true colors anyhow. Oh, I'll show you my true colors, alright. But I can tell you one thing. They definitely won't be pink.
Why even do that?
Sure.
Try to get into the zone, then get out of the zone, I guess.
I'm telling
Get
you,
in and out of
I'm
character.
not afraid of losing. Good luck with that. What? I mean, you accepted my challenge just so you could prove to me that you're not afraid of losing. I mean, it's gonna be kind of hard to do that if you win, don't you think?
Ha!
Can we just do this already? All right, fine.
What do you want me to do? Just
Let's
give up then? Alright, first turn. I do nothing. The end.
I draw.
Not a bad hand by the looks of it.
I start by normal summoning Performer C Splash Joker.
Okay.
Activate this monster's special ability. By banishing it, and by discarding a card from my hand, I can activate these two cards straight from my
Straight
deck.
up.
The
Get your pendulum
cards,
scales.
Performance Turnaround, and Wriggling.
I had a feeling.
I can only pendulum summon water.
There's a lot of pendulum archetypes that needs like. Can I just have my own version of get my scales?
And here I was thinking you would have swapped it out by now with a different deck.
Nah.
Yeah, I've grown attached to these guys, so I think I'm gonna keep them.
And Marcus isn't in
Now,
the dice.
Turnaround in the pendulum zone, I'll use his ability to
And
add
find a
the
deck that
discarded
works.
card back to my hand. And then I'll pendulum summon. Swing far pendulum, carve the arc of victory. Come on out, Performer C, Reef Tail Magician.
Nice.
Now I think I'll use my Performer C Ringling's pendulum ability. You see, by revealing one pendulum card in my hand, I can boost her pendulum scale by its level. I reveal Performer C Octolite, so her pendulum scale boosts by 10.
Okay. Or
What was the
210.
point of that?
Because now I
So
can activate
now
Reef
use
Tail's
Reef Tail
ability.
Magician's special ability. He gains
Gaining
attack
attack based
equal to
on the
my
number of-
combined
yeah.
pendulum scale times 100.
So it
Since
ought
I
to
have
boost
a
Reef
scale
Tail Magician's
8 and a
effect.
scale
Uh,
10,
pendulum
he
scale.
gains 1800 extra attack points.
Big boost.
And with that, I'll set one card face down. Your move. This is your true colors.
I imagine the scale goes back to its
Better.
base
It's
number
my
though.
move. Draw.
Otherwise, you can only pendulum summon level 9 monsters. That ain't very good.
Perfect.
This hand,
I
however, is pretty dang
activate
good.
the victory. This lets me add one green ice card to my hand. So, Jones, you like pendulum summoning, do you?
Funny enough, I do too.
Yeah. Well, guess what? So do I. I set the pendulum scale with Green Eyes XCs and Green Eyes Synchron.
Alright.
Now, before I do anything else, I'll activate my Green Eyes XC's pendulum ability. You see, by banishing a Green Eyes monster straight from my extra deck, I can add 2 Green Eyes monsters from my deck to my hand.
Dang.
A level 5 or higher and a level 4 or lower. Now I'll
It's a nice
perform
combo.
a
You get to summon
pendulum
Saber
summon.
Dragon too.
I pendulum summon from my hand Green Eyes Grey Dragon.
Of
I
course.
also pendulum summon my Green Eyes Petite Dragon.
Synchro time.
Oh, that's a lot of monsters.
It's 2.
Since I have a tuner and a non-tuner, I'll now hold it, Greendale. I activate my trap. Go, Performercy Waterlog.
Waterlog.
With this trap, I can banish 1 Performercy monster from my extra deck, and you can't summon monsters of the same type until the end of the turn.
Ooh.
I banish my Performercy Cannonball Magician, a Synchro monster.
So he can't synchro
No
summon.
Synchro summoning for you.
Dang. Locked him out.
Okay then. Plan B. I activate Green Eyes Fusion. This will let
This'll
me
work.
fusion summon instead. So I combine my Green Eyes on the field, as well as my Petite Dragon, with another Green Eyes monster in my deck. That's 3 monsters!
Which is no good for you.
Count.
I knew you
fusion
could pass the
summon
first grade.
Green
I always had
Eyes
faith.
Cyber Dragon!
Hello!
Whoa.
New one.
That's a new one. What does he do? Would you like to
This
see?
dude negates all your
Cyber
shit.
Dragon, battle! Attack his Reef Tail Magician! What? Ha! Your monster's weaker than mine! It's destroyed and I win!
Cyber Dragon's effect
You
activates.
think so? When Cyber Dragon battles a monster with higher attack, he isn't destroyed and I don't take any damage.
Okay.
Here's the best part.
It's a laser
Your
dragon,
monster
sort of?
loses 1,000 of its attack points. What? Oh no!
Nice. So
And
he's weakened
Cyber
it.
Dragon is a monster who can attack 3 times.
Ugh.
So I think I'll use my second attack to destroy your monster. Let's clash! Ugh. Cyber Dragon, attack him directly!
That ought to be a lot of
Plasma
damage.
burst.
That was a lot of damage.
You're already down to less than 500 life points. This duel is going to be a singe. I set 2 cards face down and end
I think
my
he's already plenty singed. Time to get serious, eh? Even more serious.
What's so funny, Turner? Sorry. It's just, you know you're only proving my point, right?
What?
How so? I mean, why else would you whip out that strong monster and try to finish me as fast as humanly possible?
Jones, the point of the game is I summon big monster and try to beat
Just so
you.
I don't get a chance for a comeback. That's how the game works, genius.
Yeah, right? You are yelling at me for playing the game.
You just don't want to lose.
Jones, I see where your logic is going, but it's also like,
Alright.
aha!
fine.
I knew by tagging me in this game of tag, you'd prove that you don't want to be
This
it.
duel is done. I draw.
Aha! I knew that by moving when I sit at green light in this game of red light, green light, you'd move, thus proving that you want to win the game of red light, green light. It's like, what the fuck? I know what he's trying to get out here, like, but it's not like Draco overextended or went on for like 20 minutes to end on 60 negates and then be like, no, but I'm not afraid of losing though. He freaking like did a combo, went into a big monster and attacked directly. That's how you play the game. I'm starting to see more where people are coming from. The logic just isn't logicking. It's not like he's like Jones is making comebacks. He's like Draco's like desperately activating counter traps or doing anything like that. Sort of like what the Zark duel was doing in of course the end of Arc 5, where it's like, God, you have so many protections effect. You are terrified of losing. You're just like, no, you can't hurt me. You're not allowed to. No. It's just he's playing the game. Aha! I knew by Link summoning Heat Leo, you'd shuffle my back row back into my deck, thus proving that you're afraid of my back row and afraid of losing. Like the math isn't mathing. I mean, It's not... I get where Jones is going with this, and the logic makes enough sense where it's like, yeah, you're afraid of losing ever since we had lost to Minus. The whole logic there does make enough sense by itself. It's just the way that Jones is going about it is wrong. It just sounds stupid on its own. It's like, this is you being serious, but you actually sound dumber than your Jones Turner character. At least then you're playing a character. They're just being like, aha, I'm being logical with this. Oi. It's like using a Charizard against a Paras. It's like, aha, I knew by using a Charizard's flamethrower, you'd try to go for a super effective move. That's actually, if you whip out a Charizard against a Paras, you must be afraid of losing. Maybe that's a bad example. Maybe it was like a frickin' I don't want to use Gen 1 anymore. I knew by using a Chimchar against my Torterra, you'd be afraid of losing by using that fire type attack. Aha, I knew it. I'm so genius. Then I would be like, okay, maybe I don't know. It's just, there's a way to go about this, but this doesn't feel right. So the Green Eye Cyber Dragon was kind of cool. That's a cool design monster, and Jones is doing a bit more seriously with that trap. It's going to be a bit more of a problem. This time Draco was able to get around it, but will he forever? I guess time will tell that tale. And who knows, maybe Jones Stern will actually cinch it back around with logic again. Time will tell again. So, I guess we'll just move on to part 2. And now part 2 of Pressured. Let's see how much better or worse it can get.
Alright then, Greendale. Prepare to face your worst nightmare. Using my 2 pendulum cards,
dentist.
I pendulum summon from my extra deck, Performacy Reef-Tail Magician. And from my hand, joining him on stage,
This proves that the scale went back to normal then.
My Performacy Popstar. The lovely
Alright.
little treat everybody wants to eat. Not me.
Can't be any worse than those SpongeBob popsicles or the Sonic
come on,
ones.
I insist. I have plenty more where that came from.
Nani?
Seriously, no thank you. For your information,
Are you certain? Summons 3 more. I'm running 6. I'm cheating.
I just hope your dragon isn't. What?
They're gone.
What did you just do? I equipped all 3 of my Popsistars to your dragon.
Huh?
And I hope you're ready because you're in for one sweet
It's
surprise.
overeating.
But first, I think I'll just use a few effects. First, my Turtarath adds my Performacy Waterlog Trap back to my hand.
Great.
And my Performacy Ringaling's Pendulum Scale once again boosts from 1 to 10. Lastly, I'll use Reef-Tail Magician's ability once
To get
more,
1,800 attack
boosting its
points.
attack points up by 1,800. Now, as a famous duelist once said, let's swing into action! Reef-Tail Magician, attack his dragon! Splash! Magic attack!
Not a bad attack name.
What? Why isn't Cyber Dragon destroyed?
That's because of the
You said
Popsistars.
it yourself. Your monster can't be destroyed by battle. Well, yeah, but that only works when my dragon attacks during my turn.
Huh.
He should have been destroyed by that attack. He should have left the field. And risk losing out on my tasty treat? Not a chance.
Double back on the Cyber Dragon
See,
related
by
thing.
unequipping
Probably would
one
have
of my
overpowered otherwise.
Popstars, your monster isn't destroyed by battle. But, in return,
Reef
not
Tail
only
can attack
will your
again.
monster lose 500 of its attack points, but Reef-Tail Magician gets to attack again.
So it's a better Beast
Oh,
of
what?
Guilford.
That's right. Prepare to have a nice, cool taste of your own medicine. Go, Reef-Tail! Splash magic attack!
He's going to be taking more damage as time goes on too.
Again! Splash magic attack!
He can't take any
Not
more.
so fast, Turner. Go, Curry Plasma!
Good.
Discarding this monster from my hand lets me burn off all the calories that I would have been dealt. And I get to draw 1 card. Heh, you may have
Can't block
survived
the next
that
one.
But now that I'm unequipping my last Pop-to-Star, this attack should seal the deal. Go, Reef-Tail!
Seal.
Finish him! Not if my impenetrable attack has anything to say
You've been
about
sitting
it.
on this for how long?
With this trap, I can either prevent my monster from being destroyed, or choose to take no damage from this attack. I think I'll choose the latter.
So you've just been singing away to negate all of the damage and just let it slide.
Well, I'll send you the bill for this lovely dessert next
I guess he
time.
wanted to save
I
it in
set
case
1
he
card
needed it
face
later,
down. Your move.
but Or was hoping his Curry Plasma let him draw into another hand trap of some sort, but
Draco, you can do
it's still
this.
questionable.
Draw! Alright, I think I've toyed with you long enough.
Oh,
It's
really?
time I put an end to this. Ah, yeah? Well, prove it, tough guy. If you insist. Alright then, to start my turn, I'll play the pendulum ability of Green Eyes Exceeds once more. By removing my Green Eyes Neo Dragon from my extra deck, I can add 2 more Green Eyes cards to my hand.
Cool.
Now I'll perform a Pendulum Summon. So with my 2 cards in the Pendulum Zone, I Pendulum Summon Green Eyes Pulse Dragon, Green Eyes
Fuse.
Dragon,
Oops.
and Emperor with Eyes of Green.
Dang.
Whoa,
That's quite a amount of monsters.
Quite an impressive show you're putting on.
I agree.
Yeah, well, make sure you don't leave just yet.
The Emperor's
because there's
new
plenty
too.
More where
I
that
think the
came
Fuse
from.
one is, but I spent a hot minute.
Now,
The small text makes you think it's probably an older one.
Hold it! Go, Waterlog!
Oh, come on!
Sea summoning for you!
Huh.
Not this time. Now I activate my second trap. Green Eyes, Resistant Armor!
What's that do?
Your Waterlog trap is negated.
Ha!
No!
Nice try.
You cheater! No fair! Well, it wasn't fair the first time you used that trap, so now we're even.
Right?
Now, where was I? Oh, yeah.
John's gonna be like, you cheater! No wonder you don't want to lose!
Overlay network. With these 2 monsters,
What if the fake out the
I
entire
shall
time? It's like,
overlay
nah, I
the
actually think you were afraid of losing. I'm just trying to psych you out so I could beat
Meet
you.
Green Eyes Photon Dragon!
Cool.
You know, do I find it ironic that all of your extra deck monsters appear to resemble the signature cards of other duelists past?
Yeah, the rivals passed at that.
I like paying my respects to proper duelists.
Oh!
Maybe so. Or perhaps you're trying to masquerade yourself as a proper duelist.
Eh?
What's that supposed to mean? What if the reason why you use extra deck monsters that resemble the main boss monsters of other duelists in the past is so you can try to make yourself look and perhaps even feel as almighty as they are? Perhaps it's some sort of...
I didn't design the
Give
cards!
yourself confidence in a duel.
Look,
and
they
to
made the
hide
support
fear
look
of
like that. This isn't
losing.
my fault. That's like saying Memento be like, ah, you look like a Karibo because you want to be just like Yugimoto. Or Metaphys playing Horus be like, ah, you just want to be like that guy from
Or
GX.
at the very least,
Or Metaphys
in the
Armed
top
Dragon
10.
be better.
Now, where was I? Oh yeah, using
It's like, I didn't design the card to be technically out of universe, he did, but you know.
Units, I can banish it from the field until the end of the turn. What? Why would you do that? You got rid of a powerful monster! Because for every overlay unit removed, I can banish a monster on your field. So say goodbye to your Reef Tail Magician!
Nice.
Oh no! I'm wide open!
Yep.
And I'm far from done, because in case you haven't noticed, I haven't normal summoned yet. And I'll use that normal summon to bring forth the Green Stone of Legend!
Ooh.
But he won't be around for long. By tributing it, I can summon my Green Eyes Grey Dragon immediately.
Welcome
from the
back.
grave. And now I will finally use the pendulum ability of my Green Eyes Synchron, which lets me summon it directly to the field. Now with these 2 monsters on the board, I think you know what's happening.
Synchro Shogun!
Synchro
What do you want to do on this
Green
first
Eyes
turn?
Starlight Dragon!
Yeah, it's not just their rival monsters, it's protagonist
You can
ones
negate
too, but I know what
every
it's
face-up
meaning.
card on yours. Your 2 pendulum cards are now useless. Ugh, my cards! Now then, let's wrap this up.
You negated my cards! That proves that you're afraid of losing!
Starlight Battle! Attack!
I'm Emperor, sir.
directly. Shooting Star Plasma! Not yet, Greendale. From my hand, I play the monster effect of Performacy Octolite. Ugh. That's right.
Nuts.
After hyping him up all this time, he's finally about to make his guest appearance. I summon Octolite to the field in defense mode, and
Okay.
he can't be destroyed.
Duh.
On top of that, I can also summon an ink token to the field, which can't be destroyed either.
Oh, beautiful.
Honestly, I don't know what's more annoying. your impersonation or the deck that you're using right now.
Ha!
Fine, you got me this time. I'll end my turn. There's nothing else I can do. Hold it. Before you start your turn, I'd just like to...
I didn't even get to go to my turn
during
yet.
the end phase. For one, my Photon Dragon returns to the field, and your
Okay.
Reef Tail Magician gets attached to him as an overlay unit.
Damn!
Ah,
It's not coming
so
back.
Now your Photon Dragon has more ammo for his effect.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Looks like I'm in quite a pickle, aren't I?
Yeah. I have to agree
That's an
there.
understatement. If my monster banishing Photon Dragon wasn't enough, keep in mind my Starlight Dragon can negate any card effect that would negate or destroy, and my Emperor with Eyes of Green protects all of my other monsters from being destroyed or targeted by card effects. So yeah,
Quite a good
by
amount of
looks what
protection
I have
there.
Here, I say the chances of you turning your situation around are slim. So go
But
ahead and
not
make whatever
none.
move you can, Turner. And you jinxed it.
Pretty much!
I mean, seriously, Draco. I mean, do you not know how things work?
Right?
The moment you start boasting about how it's pretty much impossible for your opponent to make a comeback, they manage to draw the exact card they need in order to do
Yeah, but
so.
now you point out how
You're not
that's
making
gonna
it
happen,
easier
meaning
for
it
yourself
won't happen
win,
now to go with
let
the
alone
joke.
Prove that you're not afraid of being a loser. Oh well, you just shut up, okay? Honestly, what is it gonna take to convince you that I'm not afraid of losing?
Well, losing, apparently.
When you don't perform a hissy fit when I beat you. Don't you mean if you beat me?
Are you convinced that
No.
frickin' Draco could summon a monster with
When-
0 attack points and
Now then,
and Jones
let's
would be
do
like,
this.
this proves you're
My
afraid
turn
of
will
losing
trigger
because
my
you summoned
focus on
anything.
Octolite's other effect, returning your Emperor with Eyes of Green back to your hand.
Ah, dang it.
Ugh.
So much for no protection. Or full protection,
Great.
rather.
Well, it doesn't matter. I doubt that your Octolite or anything else you have will be able to take care of my monsters. Oh, I don't intend for Octolite to do anything. But for my next trick, he will prove useful. Along with my 2 pendulum monsters. Really? What good would they do you? Sure, you could use them to pendulum summon more monsters. But without their effects, they're pretty much useless in those zones. Oh, I'm not going to pendulum summon. Instead, I'm using all 3 of them for my pendulum fusion!
Ah, crap baskets.
What? You
I
can
think I know what's
fusion
going
summon
into.
too? Of course I can.
Legendary
Right?
fisherman.
Hello? Now I combined all 3 of my monsters in order to summon a true warrior from the deep. Here we go. I fusion summon Performer C Shark Paladin.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta be
I
kidding
remember
me.
the time that freaking
That's another one of
Big
those
beat
pendulum
Samuel
hybrid
Smith
cards.
in
How did you
FST.
get a hold of one of those things? Only the best Lancers have access.
Mind you, that was a bonus episode, so it wasn't canon.
I think you answered your own question, Green.
I mean, it was
Hill.
sort of canon, but
I am
it's easy to
one
say
of the
not
best
canon.
Lancers. If that doesn't prove to you my true strength, I don't know what does.
Right?
Well, not best enough. Photon Dragon, do your thing. Use up an overlay unit and banish his monster.
Not gonna work.
Too little, too late. I activate Shark Paladin's special ability. Now, not only is it not banished, but I get to redirect your Photon Dragon's effect to another monster on your field. And I think you know who I'm choosing. Starlight Dragon is bye-bye.
But Starlight can negate.
Oh no!
I guess it's negate the opponent's
I'm
effects.
wide open.
Or because it's not from its own.
Exactly. Now let's wrap this up, shall we? Go get him, Shark Paladin! Attack his life points directly! No! No, I'm not losing to you! Not that easily! I banished Green Eyes Kamuri Dragon from my graveyard!
Hello, when did you get
Huh?
there?
How did that get in your graveyard? I
He discarded it to
near the
search
beginning
it.
of the duel with Green Eyes Fusion.
Yeah.
And by removing
Ah,
it,
that's
I
why it
can
was
summon
hidden.
the original Green Eyes Great Dragon back to the field. And your attacking monster is destroyed. Ugh. Sorry, Turner, but it looks like me and my dragons live to fly another day.
Jones almost put off the ultimate
Don't
upset.
bet on it. You can't stop my show that easily. You see, when Shark Paladin is destroyed, it goes to my pendulum zone. And thanks to its effect, I can immediately summon it from my pendulum zone back to the field.
You gotta be kidding me.
Are you kidding me? Shark Paladin, let's finish where you left off. Destroy his green eyes. No, 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 no way. Starting to act up, are we? Afraid of losing? Will you shut up? I'm not losing this duel. Not when I banish my V victory from the graveyard.
Oh?
With it, I can boost my Green Eyes attack points by 1,000.
So
If my
there's
Green Eyes
suicide.
can't take out your paladin, I'll be taking it with him.
Paladin's other
Is
effect
that so?
activates.
Sorry, Greendale, but I think this is checkmate.
Huh?
From my hand, I activate the quick play spell, Performer C Bubble Bomb.
What? He had that turn 1.
No. Which boosts my monster's attack points by an additional 300. No. Damn it. Game, set, and match. Shark Paladin, destroy his green eyes. Go, Great White Magic Attack. Urgh.
Well,
And
you
for
still haven't lost
final
yet.
touch, thanks to the last special ability of my Bubble Bomb, you
Burn
take
damage.
equal to half your destroyed monster's attack. No! Come on! So long, Greendale. It's been a blast. Ah!
You just lost to Jones Turner. Can you recover from this? I remember Draco winning that duel, but I guess that shows what memory does to you. I guess just assuming Draco wins
Lashing
lol
out
was a
your
safe
defeat.
assumption.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's what I thought. My theory is correct.
So you can say what you want about it, at least it
Afraid of being a loser.
At least it proves the series is not X wins lol.
One more time. There will be a live funeral with your name on it.
You have been consistently poking the bear, Jones.
I don't need to be rude. I was only trying to help you.
Help you by calling me a loser 24/7 the entire duel? Even if
Are
I
you
was...
serious? How the heck does this help me? How? Does it stop the organization of the Forgotten beating me here? Does it...
Not to mention, you keep telling me to lose the entire time. You think I'm going to be happy about losing?
Does it bring back everyone who they
Fairy,
defeated,
you gave
they
me
destroyed,
PTSD.
who they
Or
killed?
something like that.
Will just making a fuss about it accomplish any of that? That's it. You're not just afraid of losing, are you? You're afraid of the consequences of losing. I have a perfectly good reason to be afraid of the consequences. Look at how far the organization has gotten. Look at Phoenix University. We are standing in what remains of it. Look what they've done. All of this was because we failed.
And you're afraid of
All
failing
of this
again.
was because I failed.
And that's the real truth of it.
Draco.
He's
shouldn't
not
have
afraid
put
of
the
losing,
burden on
he's afraid of
himself.
failing.
I mean, none of this is your fault. Why not? Every time I fail to stop the organization, they get closer and closer to what they're planning. Perhaps, but what were you expecting to do? Just sweep them all in one go?
Kinda hoping that way, yeah.
You're not invincible, Greendale. As much as you'd probably hate to think of it. And besides, it's not just you who's worried about the consequences of what would happen if you kept losing these battles. I mean, pretty much everyone else is just as worried as you are. Heck, including me. What about
Unfortunately,
you?
you know what, given what's gonna happen?
Do you
Yours
think
might become a
he
reality.
felt bad after losing against Silence? And Minus, for that matter? I mean, both he and Uber literally tried their best. They
Oliver!
literally pushed themselves. Took on one of the most powerful members of the organization just to do it, and they failed. How do you think they feel? How do you think Hugo feels, especially after you slandered him for being unable to beat him? Don't you think he's already had enough of that? from his home dimension?
Draco's been thinking about only himself for the past while. Not other people. Just what would benefit him.
Look, I get it. Things are bad, and if we don't get a hold of ourselves sooner or later, they're only going to get worse. But you think going on about them, about how bad things will get, about how bad they are at the moment, do you think any of that's going to help? It's only going to make everyone else feel worse. Okay. Alright. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry I've been acting like a get lately. I'm sorry about my attitude. It's just you're right. I am afraid of the possibility of losing against Mephiles. I mean,
who wouldn't
I've
be?
heard stories about the damage Zark can inflict. And how the entire multiverse almost got destroyed by him. Twice.
So naturally you don't want him to come back.
Witnessing that myself.
Yeah. Don't want any repeat performances.
Nobody can. I'm sure of that.
I agree.
I know things are bad, especially now, but that's why it's so important for all of us to stick together and work together and keep trying. The more we complain and brag on about how terrible things are, the worse they're going to get, and the less better we're going to feel. I mean, sure, we might have more letdowns in the future.
Plenty more.
Sure, Mephiles might keep getting the upper hand in some regards, but as long as we keep trying, as long as we keep putting our heads to it, we will defeat him. And I know it's going to be a long and arduous
Because either
road.
we win or he does. And I don't like that second
We've come this
option.
far, haven't we? We've managed to get to Phoenix University. If we stood no chance.
We start at Phoenix University. What you're saying is we got right back where we started.
Here to begin with, Mephiles probably would have already won by now. Besides, all those legendary duelists you said you respected, do you think any of them would have given up if they were in our position now? Where do you think Yugioh himself would have gotten when the going got tough? Where do you think he would have ended up? Or any of the other legendary duelists, for that matter? I can't believe I'm saying this, but you're right. You're right, Turner. All those legendary duelists didn't give up when the going got tough. Shea Obsidian didn't give up when his dimension was being invaded.
And his sister was gone for good.
Didn't give up when his father was attempting interdimensional conquest.
Because that was a funny, led to a funny moment against
Especially
Zark.
didn't give up, no matter what situation he was thrown in.
He just lay down and
Well,
cried
that's entirely
constantly.
true. He did have his downer moments.
Oh, plenty of them.
Perhaps so. But despite that, he still kept pressing on. I suppose we should too. No matter how bad things get, no matter how much more peril we're put in, I shouldn't be defeated.
And yet you can be.
We won't be defeated. And that's the spirit, Greendale. You know, it's a shame I can't see this side of you more often.
And you won't be, given what happens later this season.
Unfortunately, I have a reputation to obtain. Now,
Uphold.
let's go back inside the border, Daddy-O!
Also, please don't tell everybody about this.
We're sneaking, we're sneaking, we're sneaking, we're sneaking, we're sneaking, we're sneaking.
You lost to that man.
I owe Hugo an apology.
First order of business. To be continued. And that's the end of that controversial episode. I do agree with certain bits, like, it's not so much that Draco's afraid of losing, he's afraid of failure. I can relate to that extent, just like no one wants to be seen as a failure. Whose goal is that? That's a rhetorical question, don't actually Google it. But, he's held that to such a high regard that he doesn't want anyone to be hurt again, almost like a hero mentality that it's now starting to destroy him and everyone around him. I don't want to see Zark succeed, therefore I will burn all my bridges in order to make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah, but that doesn't lead to a happy outcome exactly. And yeah, Jones's whole logic of the whole "you're afraid of losing, thus proven by you summoning a monster" it's just complete another bullcrap. Although the outcome of the duel though was surprising. You could just I completely forgot that Jones won that duel. I thought Draco won that one, but again, assuming Draco wins, lol was the safe bet. But no. So again, say what you will about Unleashed, but you can also be like, it is not a series of X wins, lol. It is not 100% of the time, but you know, yeah. Anywho, even Mephiles wasn't safe from that rule. Everyone loses in this show from time to time. Oy. And some lose more than others. I mean, so far, freaking Framer and Silence haven't lost, but their more major antagonists, their time will come. We know it's a matter of when, not if. I hope Framer ends up being the Starscream of the series. I'm getting off the cup. Oh wait, no, sorry, not Framer. Ravage. I got my names mixed up with Henchman. Sorry. But yeah, Ravage and Silence. Yeah, their time will come. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. So I can totally see why people feel like this is the worst episode of Unleashed. I can get that point of view. It's also just the fact of like who's saying it, because Jones Turner has a lot of haters. And the whole, I wanted you to hate me, that doesn't work. I've never seen that work. That's like the logic of like, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Why isn't anyone watching it? Like, it's one thing if that's your point of view and you're like a fan or something like that, but when you're the creator of the thing and being like, don't like it, don't watch it, not a good sign. Yeah. Yeah. It's all, yeah, and part of the message is just who's giving the message. That's an important key detail too, because, yeah, it's sometimes just like, you don't want to listen to that person because we already hate him. Yeah. But, yeah, that's the end of the episode. So, what'd you all think? Let me know in the comments. Has a rewatch changed your mind on the episode? Maybe not, I doubt it, but, you know, you never know for sure. Anyway, hopefully we get that apology, and I guess we can find out next time what will happen. So until that time, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you all next time. Later.